Hello everyone, and welcome to today's match between Team Mouz, and Team Fnatic. So playing for Mouz is, in the bottom left, the green Protoss Mouz Tosh, and in the top we have the red Terran and one of my personal favorite players, the Thorzane. Over here on their opponents we have Fnatic EXE and Fnatic Lae'zel, I believe, the yellow Zerg. And this match is taking place on Scorched Haven, so I'm hoping that this will be a long drawn out game in which there's huge battles over these gold minerals. And at this point I'm not really going to be able to venture a guess as to who will win, since, to be perfectly frank, these are not the most these Fnatic players are not the two that I'm most familiar with, being, Fnatic Rain and Quai Rice, those guys. But here's a chance for me and maybe you guys to get to know them a little better if you're not as familiar as maybe you should be. Anyway, as I've said in previous casts, I really think that this kind of pro level 2v2 is going to be up and coming for, as esports kind of evolves. I expect it to become more common and more competitive, etc., because it changes the game, I think, significantly. The strategies and all the timings and everything have to become quite different. But anyway, I could be wrong on that prediction. That's kind of my expectation, in part because I like 2v2. I think that it allows you to do a little different things, take maybe some more risks, but at the same time you have to also be prepared for those big pushes because they can be really powerful. Anyway, back to the game here at hand. We have a spawning pool going down for Lae'zel. Both teams have got enough scouts, and the gas has been stolen from the Protoss. I like that, but it delays a little bit of any kind of maybe starport play, something of that sort. And they're talking it up, saying, "He's got no gas for void." I don't know Spanish. Something about going. So anyway, looks like we got Fast Tech Lab coming down here, so they're going to be going quick Marauders out of Fnatic EXE. Other hand over here we've got Lings coming quickly. Going to be probably a hatch off of this as well. So we're applying just a little bit of quick pressure here. Speed halfway on its way to try and slow them down. The Marines of Thorzane are in the base trying to deal with that, and the Zealot hopefully is on hold. But meanwhile, since they know that Marines are doing the damage, maybe they're going to try and hit this. But that doesn't seem like the best option. Factory going down, second racks, switching out for a bunker. Up at the front there's Thorzane. Now they have sentries out, but the Marauder is going to be able to do some good damage with its big range. Thorzane is getting a couple Hellions here to deal with this Speedling harass. I like that choice, although Marauders do pretty good damage on oh, and now with the Overlord bringing in for sight, they're really going to be able to get some good shots off on the Cybernetics core. It would be beyond horrible if they got it before Warp Gate finished. They're going to have to make a play to stop it. They can't let this go down. Oh my god, they got Warp Gate. This is horrible. Nice sentry block off there. Thorzane coming out with SCVs to try and help deal with this really early aggressive. This is what I'm talking about. This kind of strategy is just so cool. You wouldn't see this in a 1v1 necessarily. Lings really want to get inside. There's a lot of Speedlings right there. For Thorzane, he's got 3 Hellions, but just 4 Marauders. So, and he's going to get the gateway. This is unbelievable, the amount of damage they're able to do here. He might get the Overlord, though. That would be nice. But no. Yes, he does. Excellent. Thorzane's built up a nice army, so they're not going to want to push into him very easily, but his teammate Tosh is really hurting. with that Overlord, he's able to get extra vision. He might knock down this. Thorzane's really got to be careful. And yet somehow Yellow is able to detect... Well, no, never mind. Over back at the base, we have Siege Tanks and Banshees and Cloak coming out for EXE, so everything looks to really be going in their favor at this point. They've contained these guys really nicely in their base, blown up a lot of tech, so Tosh is going for a 4-gate. Look, I mean, the Marine count is not terrible. He's able to get down the depot, not locking Thorzane, who must have built something ahead of time. And Tosh is getting a forward pylon, which is a pretty good play to try and do something to deal with any of that. And meanwhile, both of these players are going to be able to get up their expansion. The Yellow already has his. He's got his Spore Crawler lined up in case of any sort of DT harass, which might be happening, and yet it looks as though they've spotted this forward pylon already. So that's going to go down, locking down any of that problem. And massive amounts of bunkers coming in here for EXE, so they're not taking any chances. They want to deal with their large economic advantage by being able to get up their naturals really quickly. All the while, here comes the Banshees with Cloak. Thorzane quickly moves forward his Marines. Does he have a scan? Yes, he does. Cleans that up quickly and drops a tower just as that finishes. So that's pretty great, being able to lock down that play. Ling Scout looking to find out if any of the naturals are up. Hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, I apologize for that. Tried to move my mic out of the way. So it's looking like we're going to have Tank Banshees coming out here for EXE, while we have Speedlings. He still does not have a hive up. He's only now getting a second gas. So maybe that's what's slowing him down. But here comes some aggression from Red. They've got these Hellions. I just don't see this going anywhere. Not with that defense. They're going to need to research Blink, maybe do some drops, or get some tanks and better air support themselves. Both watchtowers are controlled by Fnatic Lazael, I believe. Yes, that's his name. Tosh getting up his natural base now, about the same time as EXE, so he's not too far behind on that timing, as well as Thorzane already has his done. So that's good. Hive layer research, excuse me, on the way on his natural. Okay, maybe that reduces anyone's ability to kind of scout that, which is pretty good. Oh, Observer for Tosh, gonna get detected. Will he get out? He gets out. Meanwhile, we have another Banshee coming in. Look, this time I'm going to try and poke over at Tosh's base, who's going Colossus Tech. He has Stalkers in the base, but does he have any Observer nearby? Doesn't look it. So instead, he's moving forward. Maybe. As this makes a move into his base, he's going to be able to get quite a few drone kills. There's still quite a lot of energy on this Banshee. There's the scan going down from Thorzane. Can't see through the production tab. It does escape. No towers here at the natural. Yellow knows to go Viking because I imagine because he scouted the support bay for Colossus. He's going to eke in here, but Thorzane does have a well-placed missile turret that should be able to deal with that. So that Banshee gets out with 4 kills. So Marine Tank for Thorzane, a Warp Gate composition army for Tosh, but this is looking really scary. The Spire is on the way. Vikings coming out for EXE, so Colossus play is not really going to be the best bet given the composition that they're going for. But they're going to be able to get a couple Overlords here. They have to be careful pushing too far into this tank line. So that's good damage, going to set up a contain. The problem is they don't have any air. So a tank can just go up on the high... Oh, there it is. Tosh does have an observer, so I really like that. Now they're setting up a contain, so I would hope that they're going to try and get some extra bases up to really reorient this, because looking at supplies, it's a lot harder to do. Thorzane's at 111. The EXE's at 108, so Thorzane's doing well. 96 for the Zerg player, now at 120, as he just popped out a ton of Mutalisks. Vikings, observers, this Overseer, excuse me. What I do like is right here we've got this high yield is great play. They're behind a little bit. Take this ramp. Don't allow them to move around very easily. All the while, Yellow is able to get up his third base over here. But it's going to be really hard to move troops to that base because of this contain. So he's going to have to try and be satisfied with building them organically over there. A macro hatch here. Units tab. We've got 2 Colossus out for him. 14 Mutalisks. 16 Mutalisks. They got to be careful about bringing in these Vikings because they've got superior air force at this point. All the while, the Muta harass over here is really got to be annoying for Thorzane. That's a lot of Mutalisks. They're going to pick off all these reinforcements. Although Tosh has got some good force, able to repel that, but the Mutalisk, their speed is so quick. Blink coming in for Teal, just what I was hoping he would do. Thorzane moving back a lot of his Marines. You have to be careful. You can't vacate too much, because what is their anti-air for these Vikings? There's only 8 Stalkers. That's 7, actually. 7 Stalkers to help deal with those Colossus and the air superior, because this is a huge force they're going to deal with here. No upgrades. +1 for EXE. Oh, they're picking off. No. Now they'll get the observer. Oh, that's not good. So now there's no vision up into the higher areas. No upgrades on the tanks for these guys. Still back home, chasing around the Mutalisks. Vikings getting off a couple shots. They have to be really careful because it looks like Team Fnatic is gearing up to make a huge push. Here it comes. Here it goes. Lings to the front. This army looks too much for Team Mouz's defenses here. Sentries putting down good force fields, but just so much air forces and Marauders really clean up versus tanks and Stalkers. And now it's going to be a huge positional battle here at the middle around the gold, which Thorzane has had up for a long time, but these tanks are now sieging, blowing away all of the SCVs. I think this is going to spell a good game right here. Teal's forces has basically been untouched. Stimming forward, eradicating the tanks, tanking up in perfect position, forcing them back, all of that, and the liftoff, well done by Thorzane, able to save his orbital command. But with Vikings and Mutalisks in pursuit, how long will it live? Tosh has got his base up here, no mining. This base was taken out somehow. I didn't even see that. I apologize. That's another thing about 2v2 is it's so much really happening all at once. So they're trying to muster their forces up to make a defense. Luckily, Tosh is not mining here since this base is going to go to 1,000,000 lings. I wish, really wish that more upgrades are on these lings. He does have no upgrades on his Stalker. His Mutalisks. Both Yellow and EXE are taking expansions at the same place. These Stalkers need to be careful of going up too far and getting trapped by all of these forces. He blinks to try and save some of this, but I don't know, with Stim concussive Marauders, he's going to need to try and blink one more. The lings are slowing him down. They're so fast, and now he's in a corner. I'm hoping that's a Thorzane scan, but I guess not. Hoping to blink him up to the high ground. Yes, it was a Thorzane. But all these Mutalisks are here to deal with that. I think that Tosh needs to be thinking about changing his tech, but the problem is I don't know if he has time. Because unless they think that Thorzane's going to be able to recapture the air dominance, he's going to need to be careful, because now we've got another base over here. Finally, +1 coming in for melee.